Welcome to the official first episode of Pardon My Accent.
Wow, it's finally happening.
It's so crazy. I'm so excited, but also super exhausted because me and Rudy recorded this episode like around how many times?
Probably like at least 10, 15 times. at least. And then when we finally got it, we had a little problem and then we had to redo it. So
yeah,
here we are again, redoing the first episode. So this is officially the first episode of Pardon My Accent.
I am so excited. Welcome if you're watching this. If you came from my Instagram, if you came from anywhere else, I just want to say welcome to the first official episode of Pardon My Accent, something that me and Rudy have been working on for the past few months. And it has been a battle. It has been super hard, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just super excited for this.
Yeah, it was a long time in the making. Like, we had all the equipment, we had everything set to go, but there was always something like that we had to do that we wasn't able to like get to the podcast. So the fact that we're finally here, we're finally recording the first episode is like, cool.
It's
like,
super exciting.
Yeah.
It's super exciting. And well, we just in this episode, we're going to talk about why we're doing a podcast, where you can hear, where you can listen to. If you're here on YouTube, what's up? You're watching us. I really wanted to do a video of the podcast. We were like going back and forth on like, should we do a video or not? And I'm like, you know what? I personally love watching video forms of podcast, and Rudy doesn't. He's the opposite.
I go with just the audio. Like, I don't have to really worry about seeing what was they talking about, just listening.
And more like you can do it on the go.
Right, yeah.
Like you're driving and you listen to a podcast.
I just put it on and just listen to it.
Yeah.
That's probably what I do all the time, yeah.
Right. So when we were coming up with how we're going to do this, I was like, you know what, let's do both. So if you're like me, you can watch us and all the episodes on YouTube. And if you're like Rudy, you can listen to it on iTunes, which is pretty cool.
We'll also be having IG, so we'll be doing like little clips on that so you can see like a preview of the episode.
And we're going to be very interactive there too. So you can ask us questions on DMs, request videos there. We're going to do polls. We're going to be very interactive there.
Hit us up. We're going to be on there all the time. And
yeah, for sure. So if you're wondering why am I making a podcast, I feel like people are going to be super confused, or you guys saw it coming. I don't know. Maybe either...
You know what's crazy? That podcast is like really blowing up. And like 2019 is where podcast blew up. I mean, it was probably already on the ride. Probably 2019 was when I got introduced to it the most.
Yeah, same.
But it's definitely like 2019 podcast has been always like talked about.
Yeah, and so, not only that, I feel like
everybody was
it just brings so much value to people.
Yeah.
Because when we started listening to podcasts ourselves, like it brought so much value to us in terms of like inspiration, content, just like us learning about other people and like what they do, and like
you feel like more connected to those people. You know what I mean? Because they talk more about how they feel.
Real life.
And they touch on like more points, when they speak about things.
I feel like podcast is like a book. Like in a book you go in depth about different details.
Yeah.
And like a video you don't go in depth on things because it's like very quick, like 15-minute video. But like podcast is more long, so you can actually go in and like talk about things more.
Yeah, and it's like right there on the spot. So you have to
like,
the person that's speaking to you, or they just think about whatever they ask a question, they gotta answer on the spot. Now they gotta think about it. It's just right there,
Yeah, exactly.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you hear Autumn barking in the background,
don't mind him.
Don't mind him. He's literally like so bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the reason why we personally came to the conclusion that we needed to do a podcast is because I was going through a moment where I felt super stuck creatively. I'm a very creative person, and I felt like I was just creating content, like putting up pretty pictures and like cool videos that I was proud of, but I just felt like I wasn't delivering a message. I wasn't being inspirational, even though like so many of my followers told me like, you're so inspiring and you inspire me, and I love you guys for that. But personally, I felt like I can do more, because that's the main reason why I started this whole social media thing.
And when you started it, you felt like you were doing something, you were bringing something to those people, right?
Bringing value to people.
And 100%. Then after a while, you felt like you weren't.
Yeah, and it's funny because like the more I grew, the more I felt like I was getting a little bit more disconnected to my followers, because, and this, like I felt like more people were looking at me and I cannot be totally myself.
Right.
And it is so funny.
That's normal.
Yeah, and then that's why I was like restricting myself from doing stories and like those things, because I feel like so much pressure and I felt like I couldn't be myself 100%. Even though I kind of was going through that and it was hard, I kind of stopped thinking like that, and I started being myself more and trying to like talk more on stories and doing all those things. But
you got it really good at.
Thanks, babe.
You really got it really good at.
Yeah. And it was honestly like it was really an issue. Like I really started this whole thing to inspire people, and I feel like I wasn't doing that anymore. So one day I literally like talked to Rudy. I'm like, hey babe, I'm going through this right now. And like it's really annoying and it's really frustrating because I just don't know what to do and like what's the next step for Melody's life. Like what is the next step for this whole platform? We're growing. Right. But like how can we like go to the next level
and bring more value
to people? And then I'm like thinking, and I was just thinking about podcasts. Like that's the one thing that came to my head.
You think people learn more from podcasts than they do from like YouTube videos?
I feel like
Instagram.
I feel like it depends. I feel like there's different platforms for different purposes.
Right. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
For certain people.
Yeah.
Because maybe like, for certain people, Instagram is like the go-to spot for like inspiration.
Yeah.
You know, for me, podcast is where I go to like if I want to just learn and like grow as a person. You know what I mean? And then YouTube is more like when I want to learn something, you know, handy, like maybe how to do something, I'll go on YouTube. And then Instagram is for pleasure. For me, I know for you it's different.
Different. 100% different. Because I listen to different people on podcasts. So I have entertainment for podcasts. I have my Christian faith community on podcast, and I also have like the learning, like the Jay Shetty and like those people.
How many hours you think or minutes do you spend on podcasts a day?
I've been bad lately with podcasts. I feel like I've been so busy because we've been super busy this past few months that right. I haven't like sneaked it in. But like every time that I do listen to it, it's such a good feeling. Like, and also like I watch videos and I wash dishes and I clean the house and I watch a podcast.
That's mostly when I do my podcast.
Yeah, when you're cleaning.
When I'm cooking or I'm cleaning the dishes.
Yeah.
You know, I try to sneak in the podcast. I feel like that's why podcast is doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And then
YouTube is like videos, so it kind of forces you to watch, even though you don't have to watch everything. But podcast is like you don't have to watch nothing. It's just 100% the voice. So
yeah, and like you said, like for me it's different. Instagram is a great place. I feel like Instagram is amazing because you know what everybody's doing, like celebrities, your friends, your family. You know what everybody's doing, but I feel like Instagram can be a very toxic place as well because it's like a highlight reel. You see people doing their best and you see people like traveling and doing all these things, and like it can be toxic for you.
For sure.
And that's why like Instagram is like a double-sided thing. YouTube is like cool because you can connect with people a lot on YouTube.
Right.
And podcast is like a different level because you get to know people more.
You get like the freedom of podcast. Like, you know, you just could be whoever you want, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You could be yourself, not whoever you want. You could be yourself because you don't have to put on this display of, you know, I gotta take a picture, so I gotta look good. You know what I mean? You just be honest on the mic, you know?
Yeah.
Talking to the followers.
And you can talk about everything. And you can talk about everything.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why I feel like we are doing this, because we're thinking about creating content for absolutely anything in our life. Like I feel like we have fitness, health, faith,
we do a little bit of everything.
So many things we have planned for this. Like, guys, you guys are not ready. It's gonna be lit here.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna have guests. We're gonna have a good time. Okay.
Oh God. That was horrible.
Wait, do it again.
I'm not gonna do that again.
So if you guys are wondering why we came up with the name Pardon My Accent, you have to tell that story.
You know, the thing is, we got to be completely honest. We didn't come up with the name. You know?
Yeah. Shout out to my sister Nicole.
Yeah, so it was pretty much her sister. I believe it was a long time in the making for that one, right? Like, she had it for a long time.
She had it for a long time.
So she was thinking about making a podcast herself for a very long time, and then we recently came up with the idea that we wanted to start up with a podcast.
And there was no other name that
we couldn't think of any other name, and then she said Pardon My Accent, and then we were like, wow, that's just so perfect.
Because I have an accent,
Yeah,
guys.
it's
Like,
so perfect.
pardon my damn accent right now, okay? I'm gonna say words, and I'll be like, what the heck is she saying, okay?
Yeah, so.
But that's the whole point of this, like, name. The name is so lit. Like, Pardon My Accent, it goes so well.
I fell in love with the name right away. So shout out to Nicole for
shout out to my
hooking us up
sister
with that name.
Yo, that it was pretty damn
For
good.
sure.
I'm not
We came off big time, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And like, yo, she's gonna start a podcast herself. I'm sure she's gonna come on the podcast. She's like so freaking fun. Like my sister, guys, I can't even tell you. Like she's the best. She's the best. So thank you for the name. So what do you think that people should expect from this podcast? Yeah. Like what do you think that they should look forward to?
A little bit of everything. I mean, honestly, like I'm coming into this doing this like with fear. Like not with fear, but you know, I'm overcoming that fear because I'm I'm not a person that like put myself out there. I'm a very introvert person. So doing something like this is like completely out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I just feel like what people should expect from this is just us, like me and you, as you included, with two people that's overcoming certain barriers that it's hard. It's hard because you those battles that you were going through that you said you fear what people think about you and the pressure that you have. This is pressure too, and I'm not used to that. So
definitely,
for sure, like you guys are gonna feel that.
But you know what? Can we talk about that for a second? Because so many of my followers were telling me like, hey, why you and Rudy stopped doing the YouTube channel? People really loved our channel and it was fun for us. It was really fun. But the reason why we stopped the whole YouTube, like me and Rudy, is because I feel like Rudy's not the type to be on camera. And that's something that I really had to like consider because I'm super into the camera. I was born to be on camera, honestly.
I'm totally fine with being behind the camera.
He takes all my pictures. He does all of that for me. He edits all my things. He helps me with like the business side of this whole business that we're both building. And he's great at that, but he's not great in the camera, let me tell you. He's so scared.
It's that some people are able to like completely just
shut down and be like,
they completely change themselves. And okay, you completely change yourself when it's time to react in a certain moment. When you're being filmed on camera or taking a picture, you react quick. You like right away get into a character that is good for that. But I'm not that type of person. So
yeah, I really put in like my confidence side. Like when I was doing recently, I was on TV, which was pretty cool.
Which, yeah, it was crazy. Tamron
Hall. I modeled for 2 live shows, and I was shaking. I was so scared, but you wouldn't even tell because I literally like. I can just put on the confidence in myself, and once I go out, I'm like, I have to give it my best, and like that is what I do.
And you did, and then you're good at that. So
yeah, and
I'll
Rudy,
leave that up to you. I'm good at being behind. I got you. I back you up all the time. So.
Yeah, so we stopped doing our YouTube because of that. And I just don't like forcing things, and I feel like you can see that a lot in YouTube, and it's so obvious when like couples force their relationship and they literally skip so many steps to get views, like get engaged or like get babies. Like I'm not shaming nobody. Like everybody has their own, decisions on things. But like it sucks seeing a couple, rush things for the views and for the clout, and like we're not about that life.
That's unfortunately the time that we're in. Like it's just very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Every time I go on YouTube, I don't even go on YouTube to watch those people anymore. Those type of like videos. So yeah, I made a whole new YouTube account, and
it's all about inspiration,
motivation. People talking, and yeah, so
yeah, and like for me, I am trying every single day to kind of like unfollow people that are not adding value to my life. And that's another reason why I really want to do this, because I am very open about my faith and like what I believe in. I'm very open about who I am and like my insecurities and like all those things and like where I came from. I'm sorry. And And I just want to show that more, because people show their good sides and like the good times so many times that I feel like I even got trapped into that whole thing, like only showing like the good sides and like not showing the bad. And then like when I snapped out of it, I'm like, hey, why am I doing this?
Right.
Like why am I being like this when I know that I don't even enjoy seeing people who only show their highlight reel? But it's like a loop in Instagram and social media.
You can tell those people that, like you said, only show the good side, and you know that behind everything there's something.
There's something, and like there's so much power.
At the end of the day, you know?
There is so much power in showing what you're really going through.
Right.
And like one of my favorite bloggers, Camila Coelho, she just recently came out that she has epilepsy. I'm probably saying it wrong,
yeah.
but she's having difficulty as a young girl with seizures, and she's having trouble having babies. And like, you would have never
the medication that she's on will pretty much prevent her from having babies.
And I told this to Rudy,
difficult.
I'm like, babe, this is crazy, because I could really look up to her, and I'm like, wow, you could have never thought, because like her life seems so perfect, and
Right.
people's life seems so perfect. And like, I kind of want to be that light to everybody who sees me and like hears this podcast, to know that life is so short, and life can be a funny thing. And like right now, today we're here, but then tomorrow we don't know where we're gonna be. So if I have this platform and I have people look up to me and like watch me and listen to us, like I want them to leave feeling inspired, feeling motivated after every episode. And like,
Yeah,
I want them
that's
to
the
have
goal.
fun also, because it's gonna be a fun podcast, and I know that it's gonna be amazing because we're gonna be ourselves, and I'm really looking forward to that.
I just hope that you guys get encouraged to do something that you thought you would never do. Pretty much, you know, because I thought I would never do it. To this day, you know, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have second thoughts about doing this, honestly, because I'm pretty nervous. But honestly, you know, it's just all about keeping it going and just doing that thing that you thought you couldn't do.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna sit there and say, "Wow, you know, like I did it." You know, why was I doing such a big deal about it? You know?
Yeah.
So just do it. And
This is a big thing for Rudy, okay?
it is. It
He
really is.
is coming out of his comfort zone, guys. Let's do a round of applause for Rudy. Woo! This is a big thing, babe. I'm proud of you.
It is. It's a big thing.
Seriously. Another question. I know people are wondering who you are, where you come from, like where we come from, like a really short little bio.
Where we go?
Do you want me to start to make it easy for you?
What, like where we come from?
Yeah,
Where
like
I come from?
not like our upbringings. Like, who are you? I
Oh,
can start
well,
if you want.
Okay, go.
Okay.
You start.
So I was born in DR until I turned 11 years old. I came to the US. I didn't know the language. That's why I have an accent, because it was like I taught myself how to speak English. And I got
You came here at 11 years old?
turning 11 years old.
What age you learn English? Like you...
In a year. So
Really?
once I went to middle school, I experienced bullying. That kind of inspired me to learn the language, and I learned it like in 1 year.
Were watching those videos and like...
Yeah,
books?
watching videos, reading books, and I have to give it up to my ESL teacher, Miss Olsen. I will never forget her name. She was literally like
Dang.
my rock. She was my rock
Wow.
in middle school, and I literally aspired to be like her because she was so organized, babe. She was so organized. It was like inspiring. But she was amazing.
Was she a young teacher?
Yeah, she was young. She was young.
Okay.
But yeah, I went through high school, and then at the last 2 years of high school, my junior year, me and Rudy started dating.
That's when we met.
That's when we met. And this is a whole different story,
Yeah,
alrighty?
yeah.
Me and Rudy have almost 5 years together.
Making 5 years in April.
And there's so much.
So
much. Like, people don't even understand.
Only we can understand what we went through, honestly.
We went through so much
we
together.
tell people what we went through,
I don't think they will believe it.
it's not even that they will believe it. It's just like, it's different when you go through it. You know what I mean? Like, nobody could take that away from you. You know, anybody could tell you this story, but
It
all about
doesn't
feeling it at that
compare.
moment. It doesn't compare.
Because me and Rudy literally went through so much. Oh my
But
God. You guys don't
I'm
understand.
definitely grateful that we're here now. you know,
Yeah.
like,
And we're going to
and
do
I
a
feel
whole
like
episode.
that's where, like, I love that. You at the end of the day, you feel so grateful for where you come from. You know, and like all through all the struggle and everything, it's just at the end, it's all about realizing where you at and realizing that you're in a way better position. You know, and
definitely, because we come from the bottom, guys.
Yeah.
You guys have no idea.
For sure.
But that's gonna be another episode, so stay tuned because we're planning definitely on filming that. But we met and then we started dating. It was great. I went to college for like 1 semester. I dropped out and I started pursuing content creation full on, and I've been doing it for 3 years full time. No, 2 years full time.
You dropped out of college?
I was doing it in college.
Yeah, I think you were.
But I wasn't, like, I didn't even get paid nothing.
Yeah,
it was
you blew
a hobby.
Up. There was a moment where you just blew up completely. Like, it was just insane. I remember that.
I feel like that happened when we were living in with Nicole.
Yeah, it was.
Because I actually no, it was in the studio. I think it was a studio, honey. Because after we moved out, like, I was actually getting some type of income.
You were doing it before we moved out on our own.
100%. I was doing it since college, but like I blew up, I think, like at the end of our studio days.
Yeah, I know there was just a moment when you just like completely blew up.
Yeah.
The numbers were just rising. I remember that. That was kind of crazy.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
But then now we are here. So that is me.
So I gotta introduce myself. My name is Rudy. My last name is Rodriguez. So Rodriguez.
It's like a first day of school. You're like introducing yourself. It's cute.
I'm 22 years old. I was born and raised in the Bronx. I was born in the Bronx.
Dang.
Crazy, right?
Props to you, soldier.
Actually, all my life, 20 years. 20 years, no. We moved out when I was 19.
Really?
When I was 19.
Oh my God.
When I was 19, we moved out.
We moved out very young.
Very young.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's another episode, guys.
Very
I promise.
Very young. So we moved out when I was 19. So then I have 3 years in PA. Well, kind of a little bit less than 3 years. We went back and forth. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a lot of things.
It's a lot of things.
A lot of back and forth. But I was born and raised in the Bronx. Didn't go to college. I actually went for about a week.
1 week.
And decided to drop out. It wasn't for me. So I decided just to go work. Was working in Starbucks for about 3-4 years. And then I was doing like appliances and construction and stuff like that. And then I'm now here with her. So besides her, I'm like her right hand man. I take her photographs and do everything with her. So
we're a team, honey.
We're a team. And now we're here creating this podcast together. So it's like,
it's a whole new journey that you guys are going to come with us.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
It's pretty crazy. We've done everything.
We've done everything.
YouTube. Now we're doing a podcast. What else we've done?
That's it.
Well, we've done a lot of things.
Well, now we're doing this, so
and this is honestly one of the biggest things I've done. So
yeah, and we're definitely looking forward to doing this for the long run.
Yeah, so yeah, for sure. It's definitely bigger than YouTube for me.
100%. It's more fun.
It's more fun, and I feel like I could be more
organic.
Open.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the end, I think, of our first ever episode. Oh my God, I'm so excited. We did it.
Yo, we did it.
Oh my God, we did it.
The first episode is completed.
Please let us know how excited. Are you guys excited about this? Please let me know in the comments. Make us feel good.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know how you feel. Let us know how this episode went.
And
we accept all criticism.
100%. So you guys, again, can listen to this podcast on iTunes. You can watch us on YouTube. And we're going to go live every single Thursday. We're planning on going live at 7 a.m. because...
7 a.m. No, yeah, 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Time. That's when everybody's up, so.
Exactly, because everybody's up.
That's
you guys can listen to us.
Listen to my podcast. So, yeah, 7 a.m. every Thursday. Be expecting an episode of Pardon My Accent.
100%. And also, please make sure to leave us a review on iTunes and rate our podcast. I'm getting used to this, okay? Rate our podcast and leave a review because it's going to help us a lot kind of get up in the charts. So if you guys have like a minute, please do so. It will help us so much. And follow our Instagram, Pardon My Accent Show on Instagram. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.
Peace.
Bye.